Hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome to Mikey's Automotive. Transmite cartela de Europa Chole no mi canal, Mikey Automobili. Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Bienvenidos a mi canal, Mikey's Automotive. So today we're working on a Chevy GM housing for the ignition lock cylinder on these trucks. Okay, the one that I have, they broke into it, they stole it, so I bought the new piece. As you guys can see, it comes with a little yellow cap, and that we're gonna need it for later on to put in our line. One of our line that secures it, and that line only goes in there when there is no ignition lock cylinder in here. So don't put your ignition lock cylinder just yet. Leave it with the new yellow cap, and let's start taking this thing apart. This is the old one, you guys can see, completely ruined. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the ignition switch that's in the bottom. There's two little square holes right here, you guys see. We're gonna poke those with a little flathead and pull out the ignition switch. If you guys want to know how to remove the ignition lock cylinder, there's some videos on my page under Chevy ignition lock cylinder removal. Go ahead, check them out. So right now we're gonna remove the airbag. There's two holes on the sides, one here and then one on the other side, and those we're gonna poke those, okay, with a little screwdriver. It can be Phillips, that'll work perfect. Poke those two holes, and then the airbag's gonna pop out. As you guys can see, it pops out. We're gonna disconnect it. Make sure you disconnect the battery. You don't want it to pop on you. So remove the battery first. Wait like a good 15-20 minutes. Okay, right behind it, you guys can see the connectors. Go ahead and remove the connectors. Really easy to remove. Pop both of them off. And then our horn wire, we're gonna remove that as well. Turn it to the left, take it out. And then we have our nut right there that holds in the steering wheel nut. Remove that as well, and then just give it a little yank, and the steering wheel should come off. Just be careful that you don't hit yourself in the face with it from yanking it too hard. And those little wires go back in through there, and just pull out the steering wheel. Okay, carefully pull out the steering wheel, so that way you don't rip out the airbag cable. And then it has like a steering, I believe that's like steering sensor or so, or for the mechanisms for the signal lights and the windshield wipers, either one or both. But this is gonna come out one way only, and it's put back in one way only. You guys can see there's a little thing that holds it in. Okay, it goes into there, and it stays right about there. So it goes one way only, and you take it out one way only. So the same way you take it out is the same way it goes in. So behind this little copper washer is a snap ring or a retaining ring, or retainer, as you guys can see. Okay, and now we're gonna remove with our special tool that we got from AutoZone. Okay, steering wheel lock plate remover. And it's special for these older vehicles to remove the steering wheel, to remove that retainer, the retaining snap ring. And what I did was I closed it enough just so it can fork right on the little metal plate. So I closed it enough just so it closes the gap, because originally it was way too wide. So I just squished it a little bit. It's not hard metal to bend. So go ahead and just turn it on the nut from the bottom, and then align it, and then turn the top butterfly so it can start pushing down on the spring. Okay, because there's a spring in here. So what it's doing, it's pushing down the spring mechanism, and we're able to remove the retaining ring, aka snap ring. And that's our retainer right there. So what it does, it alleviates pressure as we try to remove the ring, and that's what makes our job easier, this tool. Okay, so make sure you guys check it out, get one and have it around. It's nice to have for different vehicles, different makes, older models. Okay, so we screwed it onto our steering bolt. We removed it. We removed the butterfly lock in the back, and now we're gonna remove this little plate that it has right here. You guys can see the arrow lines up with the bolt. There's a little line on the bolt. it aligns up, so make sure you have that aligned up. That goes in that way. This, okay, it's gonna line up as soon as we put the other parts in there. Here's our spring, and it's pretty strong, like a valve spring. It's the rest of the assembly it's held on by 5 screws, okay. The left part is 2 screws, the right part is 3 screws. So remove the left part, okay, that's 2 screws, one on the side and one on top. And then these is 3 screws, 2 in the front for the right hand side, and then 1 all the way on the side that's hidden. So we're removing these 2 front screws for our right hand side assembly of our housing, and then our last screw, okay, our third screw is hidden back here. It's kind of hard to see, but we'll get a clear picture right now. And there it is, boom, that's a little torque screw. So we're gonna remove that, and then we're able to remove our housing. Okay, there's a couple of things that are connected, like this cable link that we removed, okay, some little sensors, and then the ignition switch. Okay, here's our link. And that can only be removed, I believe, when the ignition switch is off only. And to put it on, it needs to be off as well, okay? And that has like a little white clip where you can take it off and then remove your ignition lock cylinder, and then that comes out, okay? So that only comes out when your ignition lock cylinder is out. And I would also try to take out the ignition switch first. And there's our link. We already installed our link back in there, okay? So remember that. That's really one important thing to remove easily and install back easily. So like I said, I found that link easier to install and remove when the ignition lock cylinder is out. And if you guys don't know how to do that, go check out my videos. I have a video on how to do that, how to remove the ignition lock cylinder for older Chevy GMs. Now, a really common issue that we have with these vehicles after we install everything is our security lights. Sometimes it stays on and it won't let our truck turn on after we install everything right. Also, it's really important to have the timing on the ignition switch correct. So I usually open the switch up till it's almost gonna hit the back, and then open and then turn the gear on the ignition switch to where the cluster's on, and just shove it back in there so I'm able to start it. So sometimes you gotta time that correctly. That has to be in timing, the switch with the ignition lock cylinder. Now also, let me point something to you. These 3 wires right here, orange, yellow, sometimes I believe it's green, will prevent the car from starting, and the security light will flash like that. So the issue that I was having was that the clip on those 3 wires wasn't going in all the way. Okay, so I still had to push it in more further, but I kind of had to wiggle it in there, and that was causing the security light to stay blinking on. Okay, you guys, so the last solution that can help us fix our issue sometimes when the security light stays on is to do the onboard programming. So we open the ignition switch, the ignition lock cylinder, we turn it, we open it, okay, to where everything's on, and we leave it on for 10 minutes. That light will usually stop flashing on 10 minutes. And after it stops flashing, okay, in 10 minutes, you're gonna go ahead and turn the ignition switch off for 5 seconds, 5 slow seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on. And you will leave it on for another 10 minutes. After those 10 minutes are up, the security light will stop flashing again. You would go ahead and turn it off for another 5 seconds and repeat the process one more time. Turn it on one more time for 10 minutes. And after those 10 minutes are up, security light should go off. You turn off the switch and turn the truck on, and your truck should turn right on, okay? So those are some issues that you can face while replacing the housing on these older truck models, okay? So one, it's gonna be a short circuit through those 3 little wires, okay? Or also it could be the timing on the ignition switch and the ignition lock cylinder. When you remove the ignition switch, you kind of have to open it a little bit, move the gearbox on the switch to where the cluster's on, and then, like I said, open up the ignition lock cylinder just to where it's almost to the right, and shove the ignition switch back in there. Okay, you guys? Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys hit like, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to join our members only, you guys. If you guys want priority commenting, Thank you so much. Thank you guys for all the support. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if I have extra time, I'll respond back to you guys. Thank you guys. Take care. Till next time, you guys. This is Mikey's Automotive. Hasta luego. Se cuidan. До свидания. Спокойной ночи.